I'm sure we've heard the stories of the Russian sleep experiment, where Russian prisoners were kept in a sealed gas chamber to keep them awake for 30 days. And this started all kinds of chaos, where some prisoners tore away at their flesh and bones. Let's take a look at a few examples of people who have gone without sleep for extended periods of time, and the consequences that they faced. Let's talk about a kid named Randy Gardner, a high school student who stayed awake for 11 days as part of a science project in 1964. At first, Randy was pretty excited to be part of this experiment, and he didn't really see any problems with it. But by the end of the experiment, he was experiencing severe hallucinations and intense paranoia. While hallucinating, he heard music, bells, and buzzing sounds. He also saw objects and people that weren't actually there, and slowly began losing his mind. Everyday objects around him seemed eerie, strange, and different. His toothbrush had eyes, and his breakfast whispered to him. He also reported seeing a street sign moving and melting into the ground. The strangest thing that he reported was that he felt like he was constantly being tickled or touched by invisible hands. That sounds pretty creepy. After the experiment, it took Randy several days to return to normal. Another person who went through a sleep experiment was Peter Tripp, a radio DJ who stayed awake for 201 hours as part of a publicity stunt in 1959. During the stunt, he experienced intense hallucination and delusion. He even attempted to shave his mustache and his beard while on air, without even realizing what he was doing. So throughout the experiment, Tripp was monitored continuously by a team of doctors and researchers who kept detailed records of his physical and his mental conditions. Tripp was allowed to walk around and move freely throughout the experiment, but he was not allowed to take any stimulants or drugs to help him stay awake. As the experiment progressed, Tripp's behavior began to change dramatically. He became more and more irritable, paranoid, confused, and began to experience vivid hallucination. At one point, he believed that his fingers were shrinking and disappearing, and some people witnessed him angrily shouting at his hands. Over time, there were many complications to the experiment, because Tripp became convinced that his co-workers were trying to sabotage him. Tripp's cognitive state was going down a slippery slope, with his ability to think clearly and perform basic tasks rapidly deteriorating over time. He struggled to remember names and basic information, and his speech became slurred and incoherent. Tripp would also laugh uncontrollably for extended periods of time. It would take several minutes before he could return to normal. After the stunt was over, he suffered from severe depression and had to be hospitalized. Most people are unlikely to go without sleep for such extended periods of time, but we've all experienced sleep deprivation here and there. If you're wondering about the long-term effects of sleep deprivation, the list seems to go on and on. Chronic sleep deprivation increases your risk of developing conditions such as obesity, diabetes, and heart disease. It can also cause neurological disorders such as Alzheimer's, severe depression, and anxiety disorders. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and the bell icon button for more videos like this one. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.